Who changed the Sabbath? The Catholic Church's own confession. For centuries, Christians around the world have gathered for worship on Sunday. But who changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday? Did God command this change? Did Jesus or the apostles alter the day of worship? Or was it done by human authority? Let's uncover the shocking truth, straight from the Catholic Church's own confessions. What does the Bible say about the Sabbath? Before we examine who changed the Sabbath, we must first establish what God commanded. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Exodus 20, 8-10, KJV. The seventh day is Saturday, not Sunday. God himself sanctified and set apart this day as holy at creation. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. Genesis 2, 2-3, KJV. God commanded the Sabbath to be kept forever. Yet today most Christians worship on Sunday. If God never changed it, who did? Did Jesus or the apostles change the Sabbath? Jesus kept the Sabbath and never suggested changing it. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. Luke 4:16, KJV. Even after his resurrection, Jesus' followers continued to keep the Sabbath. And they returned and prepared spices and ointments, and rested the Sabbath day according to the commandment. Luke 23:56, KJV. Nowhere in the Bible did Jesus, the apostles, or any follower of Christ change the Sabbath to Sunday. So who did? The Catholic Church's own confession. The Catholic Church boldly admits they changed the Sabbath, not by God's command, but by their own authority. The Catholic Church took the pagan Sunday and made it the Christian Sunday. The Catholic World, March 1894, Pana 809. The authority of the Church could therefore not be bound to the authority of the Scriptures, because the Church had changed the Sabbath into Sunday, not by command of Christ, but by its own authority. Canon and Tradition, Pisa 263. We observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. The Convert's Catechism of Catholic Doctrine, 1937, Pansu 50. Sunday is our mark of authority. The Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. Catholic Record, September 1, 1923. These statements admit that the change was not biblical, but by human tradition. Protestant churches admit the Sabbath is Saturday. Even Protestant denominations, who claim to follow the Bible alone, admit that Saturday is the biblical Sabbath. Baptist Church. There was and is a commandment to keep holy the Sabbath day, but that Sabbath day was not Sunday. Dr. Edward T. Hiscox, The Baptist Manual, 1893. Methodist Church. The reason we observe the first day instead of the seventh is based on no positive command. One will search the Scriptures in vain for authority for changing from the seventh day to the first. Clovis G. Chappell, 10 Rules for Living, p. 61. Presbyterian Church. The Sabbath is a part of the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments. This alone forever settles the question as to the perpetuity of the institution. Until therefore it can be shown that the whole moral law has been repealed, the Sabbath will stand. T.C. Blake, D.D., Theology Condensed, pp. 474, 475. Why do Protestants follow a Catholic tradition instead of the Bible? The final challenge. Choose today. If Sunday worship is biblical, then answer these questions. Where in the Bible did God command Sunday worship? No such verse exists. If the Sabbath was abolished, why did Jesus and his disciples still keep it after his resurrection? Luke 23:56 Acts 13:42-44, Acts 16:13. If the Sabbath was changed to Sunday, why do Protestant churches admit that Saturday is the true Sabbath? You must choose. Will you obey God's word or follow the traditions of men? We ought to obey God rather than men. Acts 5:29, KJV. The truth is clear. What will you do?